Right, Bear o'clock, a little bit later tonight. If you saw one of the live streams earlier today, I have been doing a challenge that, well, not so much a challenge, it's something that Gary Vee put out, and he's saying that you need to be creating 100 plus pieces of content per day. And he actually put a PDF together, which is about 270 pages or 280 pages or something like that. That was how to create 64 pieces of content in a day. So old mate Beanie goes, I'm the content creating guru. That should be a piece of me. Now, if you're a little susceptible, if you're a little bit precious with swearing, put your fingers in your ears for a minute, because I'm going to tell you exactly how it went. Fuck me swinging. It was fucking hard work, and I never even got through half of it. Anyway, do I think he's wrong? No. It's the same. If you didn't hear the Twitter story this morning, I'm going to tell you the Twitter story again now, because Gary Vee, back when I first started in 2008, Gary Vee was on Twitter and he was on YouTube building Wine Library TV, and he spoke about fact back at that time when he jumped on Twitter and he sent a tweet out and he sold more wine with a tweet than he did with billboards, which were, I'm going to say $19,000 is the figure. I don't know whether it was a month or whether it was a week. But that was, either way, Twitter was working better than that. This is back in 2008. So he's not wrong. You do need to get to this level of creating this content. And I want you to listen to this story about Twitter, because there was way too many people, and this is a guy that was particularly on the coast, that tried to tell me that social media was going to be a fad. Back in 2008, told me Twitter was going to be a fad. Anyway, have a quick listen to this story that come from the podcast that I was on the other day.
I want to know, like, the thing that interests me the most is when you started the social media marketing stuff.
Yep.
Not recently. Like, when you said 2008, you got into this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
How prevalent was it back then, social media?
Mate, well, I'll tell you, so I went to a networking meeting, right? And there's this bloke there. And Twitter was actually the first program that I cut my teeth on. And I went along to this networking thing because I thought, oh, well, I started learning, as I said, I'd got to the end of that training that I did back in 2008. And the guy said, you need to go out. He said, local businesses are just getting screwed. Okay. He said, by big marketing agencies. He said, the shit that you've been taught is better than an MBA in marketing, was his description of it. He said, you need to go out and teach businesses this. So I thought, oh, I'll go off. Fucking hate networking. I didn't do it for very long. So I went to this networking event. And anyway, this bloke, he said, what do you do? I said, I do social media. And back in those days, I was the only one pretty much on the coast, maybe one, two others that were doing it, and no one else was doing it. Everyone just thought it was a fad, was going to go away. And he says, oh, what do you do? And I told him, and he said something about, Twitter, because Demi Moore had just got on Twitter at that stage, and she had a massive following, right? And he goes, 6 months' time, Twitter will just be, everyone will have forgotten about it. He said, I'll just be another fad. I said, oh, is that right, mate? And he goes, yeah. And I said, fuck, gee, what they're saying about horse and carts the other day. And he said, what's that? I said, they're going to get the fucking things back out and get rid of cars because they reckon it's just a fad. Fast forward 10 years to, what are we now, 220, 12 years. Fast forward 12 years. Twitter is still going. Horse and carts have not made a comeback, as I told old mate that they would. He's probably shattered about that. Poor bastard's probably flipping burgers at McDonald's these days because he didn't listen to Beanie back in 2008 telling him they needed to get hold of social media and sort out. Right, so if there's a lesson that I've learnt today with trying to crank out all this content is you have to have systems in place to do it. I had a fair crack at it. Let's have a look at what I did. I actually got through about 30 odd posts and about 3 or 4 live streams, which is 3 or 4 live streams more than most people will punch out in a month. And I punch podcasts out. Actually, let's go and have a look at, just going to have to switch. Here we go. Here's what I did actually get. So I broke down all of the stuff that had to get done by Gary Vee's thing, which I'll put into this Trello board here. And these are the tickets that I actually did. So let's open this up. So I did polls on Insta, Facebook, screenshots, made carousel videos, podcasts I got up. I've got posts onto Twitter with quotes. There is a lot, some of this that's in the pen here I've got partly done, micro content. I've got some videos up there. TikTok, I've got a video up on. Live streams I did. I got to Facebook, YouTube, Insta. So I've punched through a lot of content, a lot more than, I say, I would have punched more content out today than most people will in a month, if not probably in the next 3 months. The big issue is, it's a couple issues, okay? You can't just go from a standstill to try and get that content and to get it out. I'm always trying to produce the content, schedule and post the content, and then show everyone how inside the group where I was doing the experiment, inside your social media questions answered, I was trying to actually show them how I was doing it as well. Way too much. Took way too fucking much on. Anyway, the other question that you need to ask, and I'm going to recommend that you go and check this podcast out. It was one that I'm just listening to today by Dan Sullivan. And it is who, not how. And he said there's two types of people. There's multipliers and simplifiers. So when you get a goal and you want to get something done, like get 64 posts in a day, everyone just looks at how am I going to get this done? There's only so much you can get done when it's how. When it's you that has to get all this shit done. All right? When you look at who, as in who can do, and don't think I'm trying to talk you into me doing this shit for, I've got too much of my own stuff to do. I will show you how to manage it properly, how to manage your people properly, how to get the proper systems in place so that you can punch all this content out, create this content, punch it out. But there's no way in hell am I doing it for you. Not what I do. I don't want to know about it. As I say, I've got way too much of my own content to try and get out to worry about trying to push to do anyone else's content. Anyway, that podcast episode is called the Who, Not How podcast. It's Are You a Simplifier or Multiplier? And I'll just try and see if I can see for you here, if I can see what actual. So go to strategic podcasts with a s.com/podcast/who, not how. I'll put a link below this video for it so you can go and check it out anyway. So, this social media thing, it's a team sport. You're not going to do it by yourself. If I can't, and my systems are rock solid, if I can't get through that in a day, 64 posts in a day, you guys, realistically, when you're not doing this stuff all the time, you don't use Kanban like I do, you don't have the systems in place, you're not going to even get close to trying to punch that amount of content out. But you can't afford to ignore it. Just like old mate back in 2008 that tried to tell me Twitter is just a fad, and people are trying to say now you don't need to punch that much content out. You might not need to punch that much content out just yet. But believe me, Gary Vee says you need to get to doing 100 posts a day, then you need to get to doing 100 posts per day. That is it. All right. Anyway, I've had enough. I have done. This is literally like, where's me fucking sticker where I've been crossing me posts off as I go. What I will tell you about before I go is this system I've got here as well. It's called, in the construction industry, we use the hierarchy. This is called the hierarchy of control. And we used it to eliminate people getting hurt, stop a lot of the fatalities that were happening in the industry, and restrict a lot of the industries. And what we used to do was right at the top, you had to eliminate, substitute, engineer. Right at the bottom was soft controls. I can't remember. Have to use the same system so that to get to 64 posts or 100 posts a day, you have to eliminate. You have to eliminate what's the bullshit that we're currently doing that's not working, that we don't need to do anymore. Need to get rid of it. That might be stuff that you're doing in your business so you can free some more time up for yourself, and it might just be stuff that you need to eliminate within what you're doing on social media. There'll be a lot of both that you can do. Automate. How much of this stuff can we automate? I'm going to a program tomorrow called repurpose.io. Meet Edgar is another program that you can use. There's all sorts of programs I could have used to spit this content out a lot more quickly and recycle it, get a lot more posts up. Systems. What system can I put this stuff into? If you were following along today, you would have seen that I use Kanban and Scrum to get that done. Processes. I didn't really create any processes for it. That's another thing that you need to do next. Like, these are the steps. Do A, B, C, D, E, F, G to get people from to do to done, so they get the shit done. once you get down to that point, once you've got all those things sorted, if you can't eliminate it, you can't automate it, you've systemized it, you've got a process in place, then you can outsource it or delegate it. If you've failed before, if you have struggled to delegate tasks to other people, if you struggle to get done what you know you need to get done, and it just doesn't seem to be, when you give it to someone else, they just don't seem to understand what has to get done, or if you struggle with outsources, when you go through that process first, it will sort all of that out for you. Anyway, if you want to, I'm actually changing the Bullshit Abolisher sessions. You can book in for one of those. I'll put a link in below. Or if you want to get across to the group, your social media questions answered, hit that link there, feb2020.club. Just below the video is a link to the group. You can apply to get in the group, and you see exactly how I cranked out the content that I did today. I'm not giving up. This is not the end of it. We will finish it off. All right, 2 things you need to remember before I go. One is what my mentor Barry Bull told me: adapt or die. You don't adapt to this stuff, you don't get to the place where you can punch out 100 pieces of content per day, you are going to struggle, and your business in the near future, according to Garen V, is going to die. Second one is, remember what the world's greatest showman, P.T. Barnum, said: without promotion, something terrible happens. Nothing. Speak soon.